glutes and protein. And if you are a woman feeling I am losing muscle mass, we've been having this conversation for a few days, and it's about how do we get back muscle mass so that it really protects our bones and we feel strong. And we also have been talking gently about stopping a sagging ass. Now, I do not want to be in a gym doing weights now that are going to give me a bottom disproportion to me, but I want to feel the strength of my bottom. Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to do? So you tell them I'm going to have a pee.
Okay, right. Today we are going to be doing a strength session. So we're going to be using some dumbbells and we're going to be using some mini bands. If you have those, fantastic. And it is going to be lower body focused. So we're going to work on the legs, we're going to work on the glutes, which are our butt muscles, and we have 3 different glutes. We have our glute maximus, medius and minimus. And as well as obviously, you want your muscles to be strong and look great, but they are also really functional because your glutes are your hip stabilizers. So it's going to protect your back. If you've got strong glutes, hopefully it will protect your spine from injury as well. But we have to be careful when we're training glutes. So you don't just want to go straight into lifting super heavy weights. Yeah, we're going to be using some heavy dumbbells today. So we've got up to 10 kgs, but I think over the next few weeks we're going to do some progressive overload. So we'll gradually increase the resistance, but we might order some new weights, which will be exciting, because that's how we're going to create that growth, by increasing the resistance. Right, let's get started with our mobility. As always, we need to activate our muscles so we don't go straight into lifting heavy, because that can cause injury. We want to gradually start to increase that resistance throughout the session. We're going to lie down on our backs. Bring the feet to mat width. Lower your knees to the right and to the left. To the right, to the left. Go for 4. And this one is a nice one to loosen up the hips a little bit. Good. Last one. Back to the center. And then we're going to warm up the back slightly. So we cross the left leg over the right, lie on the right side, lie on your right side. And we're going to come into what's called an open book stretch. So deep breath in, reach that left arm overhead, and then exhale, you're going to bring that arm around. You might feel a bit of a stretch in the chest if you're feeling a little tight in those chest muscles. And we're mobilizing the shoulders, we're mobilizing the thoracic spine, and it's just a nice way of gently waking up the back. Last one, good. Switching sides. So your right leg crosses over your left, lying on that left side. Reach up and over your head with that right arm. Inhale, return. And exhale, big reach up and over. Hello. And our final one. And then we're going to lie on our backs. Okay, from there, we're going to go into a couple of pelvic tilts first. So we're going to tuck the hips in, gently pushing the lower back on the mat, bringing your tailbone towards your belly button, and then you release, create a little arch underneath that lower back area. Tuck in, and then release. Then the next one, we're going to lift the hips just an inch off the mat using the glutes. So you want to engage your butt muscles, lift the hips off the mat, and then roll back down. And again, little lift, roll back down. Each time you lift now, try and lift a little bit higher, but I want you to feel that you're really engaging the backs of the legs and those glutes, those butt muscles. Good. Lifting a little higher, starting to come into that full glute bridge now. Lifting all the way up, see that straight line. Hips are tucked in, straight line from your stomach down towards your knees, and then you roll back down. We're here for another 20 seconds. You want to feel like you're pulling your heels or your glutes towards your heels, so you're getting in that extra activation in those hamstrings. If you find that you're not quite activating the glutes, heels go down, toes go up. Sometimes that feels a little bit more, or it feels like you're getting a little bit more glute engagement. We're here for 2. Good, last one. You're going to lift and hold. And we're going to go into glute bridge marches. So you lift that right leg, hold it 1, 2, place the heel down, lift that left leg, hold it, 1, 2, place the heel down. Keeping your hips as level as possible. So imagine you've got 2 lights shining from your hip bones up to the sky. So feeling like the butt muscles are switching on when you're doing this. Good. One more on each side. Last one. Nice. And then rolling down. Perfect. Okay. Turning onto your right side. Your right forearm is going to go down on your mat. Oh yeah.
Keep going. Sorry, I'm just going to turn off the comments. I've got to turn them off.
Right forearm goes down on the mat. Shoulder is set down. And we're going to fire up the side glute, the glute medius, in a modified clamshell position. Good. So shoulder is set down, so it's nice and stable. Your knees are stacked one on top of the other. Hello. And we're going to lift those hips, lifting that top knee, keeping the feet together. Then come back down. Lift, tuck in, use the glutes. So now activating the side of the glute, the side of the hip, the glute medius. Exhale to lift up, inhale to lower. And it doesn't, you can lift that leg or keep the foot down. It's a little bit more intense if you lift the whole leg, so lift the whole foot. 5, on this side, go for 4. Nice, 3, 2, last one, and switch sides. So, turning over now, I'm going to have the left forearm down, knees stay stacked. For now, deep breath in and exhale, you're going to lift the hips, lift that top leg, inhale, bring the hips back down. Lift and lower. You can either keep the feet together or you lift the foot as well. Hello. Daffy's showing us lots of affection this morning, isn't she? We've got 3, 2, last one, and stop there. You're so cute. You're so cute. Right, turning over, hands down. We're going to come into some hip circles now. So we really want to make sure we've mobilised the joints as well as activated the muscles. That right leg comes out to the side, round and down. So bring that right leg out to the side, you lift up, round and down. Good. 2 more in that direction. Now we reverse it. Going for 4, 3, 2, keeping those hips really still, and your weight is evenly balanced on your right hand and your left knee. Good. Switching sides. That left leg goes out to the side, round and down. Good. And again, now we are keeping our weight balance between the left hand and the right knee. Reversing the circle. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and just
I found some web results.
Carry in front of your feet.
You ask again from your iPhone.
Right, we're going to put our mini bands on. If you haven't got one, don't worry about it, but we're going to get the mini bands on just above our knees. So, the mini bands are going to provide some resistance. Trinny, I'm just going to turn this a little bit that way. There we go. Right, so mini bands are going to provide a little bit of resistance for our glutes. We're going to shoot those hips back and walk sideways, keeping our knees bent. So really pushing the hips back, pushing the knees out to the side. And you can just use the mat as a guide here. Using the length of the mat, get nice and low, push those knees right out. You're just going to fire up the front of the thigh. Good. We are here for another 10 seconds. Let's do one more to the end of the mat, and back. Good, and then we're going to hold it there, stay low, bring your right knee in and then kick it out 10 times. So the feet stay flat down, super glued to the ground, we bring it in, kick it out 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand. Then we squat. So we get low, drive up. Nice. Turn the palms forwards, open the chest, squeeze it back a little bit as you stand. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and stop there. Right, firing up the backs of the legs a little bit more. Hands are going to go by your temples. You're going to hinge the hips back in something called a good morning. So arms are lifted. You send your body weight back as if you're doing a bit of a hamstring stretch, and then you drive up. Slight bend in those knees. Inhale to lower, exhale to stand. And we're working the same muscles as you do when you are doing a deadlift. So we're working the posterior chain, the muscles down the back and the back of the legs. Good. Keep those shoulders pulled back, really send those hips back. Nice. 3, 2, last one. Okay, right. We are going to get going with our first proper exercise. Move the band to one side for a moment. We're going to take one weight. So you've got the 10 kilo here. So just one 10 kilo for now. So we're gradually going to build up over the next few weeks to increase our strength without getting injured, which is really important. So you want to have your feet quite wide here. Toes are going to be turned out. The weight's going to go, so it's in line with your ankles. So the insides of your ankles. I'll show you from the side. You're going to push the hips back, set the shoulders down, lift the weight, then you place the weight down, stand up without it. So you see it's a nice, I mean it's not easy, but it's reasonably easy because we don't want to go straight into lifting super heavy and getting a back injury because then you're going to be set back, literally.
Totally.
So we take our time with this. We're making sure that we're working with precision and control. Good, and it gives you a chance to really feel those muscles. Imagine you're screwing the heels into the ground, you'll instantly get a little bit more activation. Good, pushing through those heels. Feel those glutes working. Nice. Going for another 3. Good. 2. And our last one, we're going to pick it up. Good. Leave it on the floor. Stand. Right. Just squat down, move that weight out the way for a second. We're now going to focus on our glute medius, so the side at the top here. Trinny, you're going to take that band back and we're going to put the band on just above the knees. And we're going to head back down onto our mats. Now this exercise is a nice one. We're going to simulate being in the gym and using the abductor machine. So you can come back onto your forearms like this. It's going to look really relaxed. And you're going to push the knees out to the side. So we're feeling the glute medius. Bring your feet further apart. Also, would you like a heavier band? Yeah?
Yeah, could do.
I think you could. Yeah, well, that is happening as soon as I find a website to sign it up. If you want to lie down and do this, you can as well. It's going to work your muscles slightly differently. So really pushing those knees out. You can stick your butt out just a little bit here. And if you want, hold a little tension. If your band's quite light, push and hold for a second. So you know you've really got that activation. And this one's quite back friendly as well. It's nice because you're supported
Yeah, I was asked by people who were thinking, I want to be really careful my back when I do
Yeah.
glute work. So you've already shown two that are really good for that.
Yeah, so the first one that we just did, if you have got back issues, be a little careful, start very light. This is back friendly. Your back is supported, you're working the side of the glute. And when you work glutes, you can get a little backache because when they tighten up, you might start pressing that sciatic nerve. But that's fine, you just got to mobilise, you've got to stretch, and then you'll feel like, you'll feel much better. You do, if your glutes get really tight, you can get backache. But
Do you think people who do a Peloton just get a firm bottom? Because lots of people are saying, oh, my Peloton does this, and I never got into Peloton. But does it help with glutes?
What, the bike?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say the bike does lots. Maybe, yeah, it does do a bit of glute, but if you've got good technique,
Yeah.
you'd have to be doing a lot and a lot of hills.
Yeah.
But you'd also get massive quads.
Yeah.
Go for 2 more. Last one. Hold it there. Hold it. Push those knees out, little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Right, so you should feel like that did get into those
Yeah.
glutes, especially if you're using a heavier band. We're going to do a couple of leg swings just to loosen up the hips because, as I just said, the muscles get tight, that's when your back can start to feel uncomfortable. So let's talk protein.
Yes, let's talk protein because we had chats about different proteins. I've got some proteins up. I've done links to you now so people want
brilliant.
to understand.
And I was
And you
thinking I'd do a
recommend some.
post on protein through the ages as well. So
Brilliant.
20s,
Brilliant.
30s, 40s,
Yeah.
50s, yeah.
Because I think also there were people
So
saying, what
sense.
about too much protein being bad for our kidneys and things like that. So there's lots of misinformation and
There
good
is a lot of
information out there.
There's a lot of information and that's where it gets a little bit overwhelming. So let's talk about women specifically for now because we are women. Protein requirements as we get older do get higher because it's much more difficult to hold on to your muscle mass. So you do need about 1.3 grams of protein per kilo of body fat, of your body weight. So, and actually, or is it
Not
pound?
2.
I can't remember.
I think it's
you can
1.3.2 because if I weigh, let's say 60 kilos,
yeah.
should I be doing 120 milligrams of
So
protein?
you would say you have like 130 grams of protein per day. And
For
remember
60, so the 60 kilo weight, that would be 2 to 1.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you probably, that's
Okay.
that's about right.
All right.
So to maintain your lean muscle mass and for your body to be functioning optimally. Right, let's get back into that exercise and I will talk through it as we're doing it.
Yeah.
So we want that one heavy dumbbell. Maybe we need to do one of our chats again. Do you remember we did that
It
live
would be
once?
really good. We
yeah,
could do
on
that.
protein.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Bring our feet quite wide here. Toes are slightly turned out. That's going to get really into those glutes and sort of the top of the back of the thigh. Set the shoulders down. We're going to lift the weight up, drive up tuck in, slowly put the weight down. Now, if you were lifting a really heavy weight, you actually want to go quite quickly because you want some power. But these weights aren't heavy, so we're going to focus a little bit more on
doing
control.
what,
10 kilos, which
Is 10 kilos 20 pounds?
it's just under 20 pounds.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Lots of
10.
Americans here too.
Yeah, so 10 kilos is around 17 pounds, I think. Yeah, but normally you would use, say, a 20-pound dumbbell, which maybe that's about a 12-kilo dumbbell. And with this one, we want to set those shoulders down, back and down, engage the back muscles when you're lifting the weight, rather than rounding your spine forwards. Good. We are here for another 3. Set 2. Good. Last one. And stop there. Right. We're back into our glute medius work. So that band is going back on above the knees or around the knees. And we're going to sit back down or lie down and push the knees out to the side. So pushing those knees out, you can go for that little hold if it's not intense enough. So you could move the band to directly around the knees to make it a bit more intense as well. And this is working the side and the top of the glute. So back to protein. So when you're younger, your protein requirements are low. Your body's really efficient
At processing.
at you know, building muscle. You don't need to, you exercise differently as well. Exercise changes as we get older because our bodies aren't as adaptive, unfortunately, but they still do adapt, which is the great thing. The kidney thing, you would have to consume so much protein, and of course you may be an individual that has some contraindications there. Obviously consult your doctor if you're going to start supplementing with lots of protein. But it's very hard, as you know, Trinny, it's very hard to consume enough protein. That's why things like collagen are a great way of adding in that little protein boost, because it doesn't impart any flavour. You can add it into your coffee or your tea or whatever you want, protein shake. Then you've got, say, 9 grams of protein.
So is collagen a form of protein, but less in terms, if you weighed collagen powder and you weighed protein powder, where are you getting more protein from? Protein?
The protein powder. So collagen is a specific matrix of amino acids.
Okay.
So it doesn't contain all of the amino acids, but the collagen. I can't remember how many amino acids are in collagen. You are still getting protein, but you're not getting every single one of the amino acids.
Okay.
So you would get the complete protein from eating, obviously, meat, or from most protein shakes.
But you get enough collagen.
It's going to
The
give
right
you a boost,
collagen powder can also just help build muscle and.
Absolutely, and the good thing about collagen, especially the one I like, which I've recommended to you, is that it just
Which one?
the Corexico, is that it absorbs just like that, so your body doesn't have to break it down.
Yeah.
It's really easily digested. We've got 2 more. Push and hold your next one. Little pulses out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Good. Right, we are going to move on to a different set of exercises. Oh yes, leg swings. Loosen up those hips. You definitely do feel it.
Yeah. And I felt even from the little bit that we did on Monday, I felt it when I woke up this morning.
Did you? Okay.
We
So
did
we
a tiny
need to...
bit, but I think I hadn't done anything for a few days, so I really felt the
Exactly, and that's what happens when you haven't done anything for a few days. Right. So next set of exercises, we're going to bring a little bit of quad work in now. Trinny, I'm going to give you an 8 kilo dumbbell. You're going to hold it in front of the chest. That's it. And we're going to come into a staggered stance goblet squat. So it's a unilateral exercise, which means that we focus more on one side than the other side. Always start off with your slightly weaker side. So you're going to have whichever side is your weaker side forwards. You push the hips back but lean the chest forward slightly. Make sure the weight is in your heel, drive up. Good. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you come back up. We're going to do 10 of these. Good. Inhale and exhale, drive up. Halfway. That's it. Driving up, go for 4. And it's a little slower on the way down, a little faster on the way up. We have 3, 2, last one. Good. Right foot forwards, left foot up on those toes. And we switch. Let's go. You lower, drive up. Good. So it's about 3 seconds till you're down towards the mat, and then drive up on 1. Good, halfway. We're here for 5, 4. Nice, go 3. Driving up, you have 2. Last one. Get low, drive up. Perfect. Now we're going to do our frog bridge, which I love. Band is going to go on just above the knees.
Which one?
Go for the green one actually for this one. So the band is going to go on we're going to be lying on our backs, and you do need a dumbbell for this. Trinny, stick with the edge, don't cushion with your hips.
Should be right, yeah.
Do you want one?
That should be right.
Okay. Right. Soles of the feet go together. If you want a cushion or a folded up towel to put on your hips to protect them, go for it. The band is above the knees to add extra resistance. Soles of the feet are together, knees are out to the side. We're going to tuck in so you get that pelvic tilt like how we started today's session. You lift and hold, push the knees down, squeeze your butt for 3, 2, 1, roll down. And again, tuck in and lift, 2, 1, roll down. 3, 2, 1. Good. So I have called this Operation Pancake to Peach, Trinny.
Thank you. Operation Pancake.
Pancake to Peach.
Pancake to peach. That's what we're looking at.
So push those knees out. And you do really feel that activation. Really think about pushing those knees down, lifting, tucking in. You are going to feel those glutes like there's no tomorrow. And you also get that nice connection. So wait, you know the bit that's the underbutt area.
Yeah.
We're going to tighten that up, increase our strength there. For glutes that defy gravity.
Yes.
Our next one is our last one. We're going to hold it for 10 seconds. So a little static hold. Push those knees down, tuck in. Good. 3, 2, 1. Rolling down. Okay. Right, move that to one side. So on Friday we'll do a full body workout.
Great.
And because you do yoga, yoga's really arm heavy, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's nice to just focus on the glutes for a bit. Right, we're going to go back into our stagger stance goblet squat. And I'll show you from the front this time what it looks like. So we have the side that we started on last time, your side that is not quite as strong as the other side. You have that foot forwards. Going to be up on the toes, about 25 centimeters behind the other foot. We lower down towards the ground. I'm not letting my knees collapse in, or they're not pushed out to the side too much either. It's an inhale to go down, exhale to push up. We've got 10 on each side. A little slower down, up with some power. Good. 5. Driving up. 4. 3. Push the knees out ever so slightly. 2. Last one. Step forward with your right, back with your left, or whichever side you started on. And driving up. So Trinny, I'm thinking if we do a live talk, we can talk about protein requirements,
Yeah.
how to grow muscle
Yeah.
through your diet, different types of protein, and what that protein looks like per meal. What do you
Okay.
think?
That sounds great.
3 to go.
Yeah.
2. Last one. Nice work. Then back into that frog bridge. So putting that band on just above the knees. If you want, you can go for a heavier band. Or stick to that one today. The weight goes on your hips, or just above the hips, the very top of the thigh. And soles of the feet together, knees out to side, we lift, hold it. And back down. So making sure, even though it's just one straight lift up, we're not really articulating the spine. You've got to tuck the hips in first just to keep your lower back safe. So we're not putting it into an extension because we have got that weight. You don't have to use weight for this. Maybe you're just starting out, in which case, don't use a weight. Body weight's proficient enough. Lift. 3, 2, 1. Down. 3, 2, 1. We have 20 seconds. Push those knees out. feeling this more in the second set.
Yeah.
Our next one, we are holding for 10 seconds. Are you ready? Lift and hold it, 10. Push those knees down, tuck in. Lift those hips, squeeze your butt. 3, 2, 1. Take hold of each end of that weight, elbows on the mat, then lift up. Good. Band off. Right. Our next set of exercises. Let's do some leg swings to loosen up those hips. Nice little leg swing to decompress the hip for a second, because when you're focusing on those glutes, they can really get quite tight.
And then especially, I think if you're going to go from here to
Sitting, absolutely.
working most of the day, it's about getting up and just moving around as much as you can.
Absolutely. And when you're at your desk, you can do the figure 4 stretch. If you're
Yeah.
sat down all day after this, figure 4 stretch every now and then is going to really help. Right, we're into our next set. We are going to go into deadlifts. We're going to keep it very light today. So I'm going to give you the 2 5s, Trinny, because we're going to work on technique. And I will use the 2 8s. Right, so we're going to do a Romanian deadlift, which means our feet are going to be parallel and they're just between shoulder and hip distance apart. The shoulders are set down, so engaging our lats, our big back muscles, and you want to keep the thumbs shaving the legs. You really push the hips back, slight bend through the knee. Inhale as you go down, back stays straight, exhale to drive up. I know that was a lot of instruction there. So we'll just do a couple of these and I'll keep giving teaching points. So your back muscles are engaged, your shoulders are set down, thumbs touch the legs all the way down. That keeps the weights close to the center of gravity to prevent back injury. Your knees are slightly bent, so we're getting into those hamstrings. We're also getting into glute maximus. Drive up, tuck under a little bit. So we're sending the weight back, and then we think activating the back of the leg. If you really think about the muscles you want to activate, it does actually help you to connect to them a little more deeply. Good. We're here for another 4. 3. 2. Push those hips right back. Nice, your last one. Good. Okay, we're going to put one of those weights down. We're going to hold each end of that dumbbell. Take a step in the center of your mat. We're going to bring the right foot out to the side, come into a side lunge. Hips back, chest forwards, back to the center, we switch. So we're getting in a bit more dynamic movement. We're working the inner thighs a little, but we're really working the outer thigh and the glutes because we have to push away from the mat. So we're strengthening the outer leg. Nice work. Just going to raise the heart rate ever so slightly just because it's a little more dynamic. You can have your toes turned out a little bit if that's more comfortable for you. Good, we have 3, 2. Last one, push those hips right back and stop there. Good. Right, putting that weight down for a second. We have a little rest, have a sip of water.
Or lemon water, protein shake. But it's good. All
Good.
doing good work.
Good hydration station going on over there. Electrolytes.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Right, are we ready for our second set?
Mm-hmm.
We've got our Romanian deadlifts. So we want to use the 2 dumbbells. Trinny's got a set of 5 kg or 10 pounds, so that's around 5 kg. I've got a set of 8 kg, which is around 15 pounds. Shoulders are set back and down. Feet are parallel, they're not too far apart. And we're going to push the hips back. So imagine you're trying to push your butt against the wall behind you, imaginary wall. Then drive up. So the chest lowers down. And deadlifts look different on everybody because we all have different body shapes. Both Trinny and I actually have long spines, so we can get probably quite close to the ground because the legs proportionately are shorter than the upper body. If you've got really long legs, you may not be able to go down as far as us, but you're still working the same muscles. Keep those shoulders back. Good. Push your hips back a little bit more, straighten the knees a little bit more, Trinny.
Let's straighten the knees a little bit more.
I'm just gonna
Like that.
Yeah, so you don't want to go beyond here, so that's it. So keep your toes down as well there. There we go. Do you feel a bit more activation in the hamstrings? 3, 2, last one. Good, right. Stop there, we're back into our side lunge, the dynamic side lunge, so stepping up from side to side with the one weight. Starting in the center of your mat, shoulders set down, we push the hips back, drive up. So from the side, I've got socks on, so it might be a bit slippy, but you're sending the hips back, so it looks like that, so I'm not letting that knee come forwards too much. I'm very much pushing through my heel, which means that the glutes are really waking up. Inhale as you go down, exhale to push off the floor. Good. And if this is difficult, sorry, there is a modification, I should have said that before, but just do a static side lunge where you keep your feet apart and go from side to side without the push off. Good, last one. And stop there. We are going to stretch now.
Oh my God, great. Okay.
Right, so we're going to get started actually with our glute stretches. So I want you to lie down. You can have your one foot up against that. And I will just do the figure 4 stretch. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. And pick up the back of that right leg, or just put your left ankle over your right knee and your right foot against a wall, and just relax. Relax those shoulders. Good. And if you need to deepen the stretch, or you want to, if your foot's against the wall, you could try elevating your heel, so coming up onto your toes, because that will bring the leg a little closer to you. And deepen the stretch. And then we're going to switch sides. And to get the most from your workouts, it's good to have a little bit of fuel before you train. So a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, and then you have your, if it's first thing in the morning that is, and then you have your meal, your breakfast afterwards. And then we're going to release from that. You can come into windscreen wiper, so you might want to move back a little bit. Just lower your knees to the right and to the left to ease off those hips and the lower back. Good, and then we're actually going to do a dynamic stretch for our hamstrings and our hip flexors. Turning over. If you need to, you can fold your mat over a little bit because that will protect your knees, otherwise we just go for it. Have your right foot forwards. Lift your arms into that cactus position, tucking in, hips are tucked in here. Deep breath in, you're going to place your hands either side of your right leg, then exhale, you're going to push back, toes up. Good, inhale, transition forwards, and exhale, open up the chest, hips tucked in. If you struggle with the hamstring stretch, you can put 2 books or yoga blocks beside you. Nice. We're here for another 3. Good. 4, 2. And do a last one. You're going to hold that hamstring stretch. You can come in and out of it gently if you want to. Sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable just to hold the stretch, so you can make it more dynamic. Going for 3, 2, 1. And step forwards with that left foot, step back with your right. Good. Open up the chest, hips tucked under. Inhale, transition forwards, exhale, push your hips back, toes up to the sky. Inhale forwards and exhale, open the chest. Good, we're here for another few reps and then we're going to hold that hamstring stretch for a moment. Our next one, we're going to push those hips back and hold that hamstring stretch. And you can gently come in and out of it by bending and extending the leg. You also stretch the calf muscles with your toes turned up to the sky. Last one. Good. Step forwards for a moment. Let your upper body hang and relax. Soften the knees. Take a deep breath in and exhale, slowly stack up. We're going to stretch our quadriceps now. So I want you to hold on to something just so you can relax. I know it's good to work on balance, but because we just want to focus more on the stretch, we're going to hold on to something. Pick up one foot. You tuck the hips in, pull the heel towards your glute. So we don't want to be like this because then you're not stretching. You push forwards, tuck under and pull. We're here for 3, 2, 1 and switch. Pushing forwards, pulling that heel. 3, 2, 1 and release. Leg swings. Let's loosen up those hips. Good, and if you do have a massage gun, oh sorry Trinny, then I do recommend getting into those hips, getting around the glutes, because if your back starts to tighten up and you've just done this glute workout, it could be that you just need to release those glutes. You could also use a foam roller and just do that figure 4 stretch that we spoke about earlier. 3, 2, 1 and stop. Okay, done.
Great.
Well done.
Feels good. Hope you joined us and enjoyed it today. And we're going to be really focusing on this. With Victoria, we focus on rocket yoga, so it's strength in the arm and strength in the core and mental strength as well. So it's a 360. Please share with your friends and come and join us next time. Subscribe to the channel to make it easier to watch the lives because they'll automatically come up. And if you haven't subscribed, they don't automatically show that we're live when we're live. Thank you. Thanks, Nat.